Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name's Katie, and if you are new here, hi, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing, and if you're back, as always, welcome back. Today I'm here to share a reveal and post review of one of my most recently completed diamond painting projects. In these post-review videos, I just like to share with you all not only a look at what a particular kit would look like when it's completed, but I also like to just take a little time to share some of my thoughts on it as far as things that I really loved about it, maybe some things that I wasn't totally as sure about, and just some overall thoughts on the canvas and the company as a whole. So I love doing these videos. I hope you find them really helpful. What I have to share with you all today is this beauty from Enablers Outpost. You guys, the name of this piece is My Sword, and isn't she so sparkly and so stunning? Just to give you a quick breakdown of the stats on this particular piece. So the artist for this piece is Indicreates. This has been legally licensed by Enablers Outpost from the artist. So Indicreates both gave their permission for the use of this lovely, lovely artwork by Enablers Outpost as a diamond painting, and they're also being compensated for the use of their artwork as well. I'll pop up that original artwork for you here on the screen so you can take a look. It is so dreamy, so very fantastical, very, very much my personal style. So I was all about this kit as soon as I saw Enablers Outpost announce its release. I think this came out just a few months ago. They're doing another, they did a round of pre-orders. I don't know if they'll be doing another run of this particular kit, but I do know that there are more pieces coming from this artist in Enablers Outpost. So be sure to follow along with them on Instagram, join their Facebook group if you're not a member already. I will link to all of those below, but those are the best places to stay up to date with what is coming, future restock dates, because they restock these kits, it seems like, in small batches, and they seem to sell out very, very quickly when they do restock because they are so popular. Enablers Outpost is a small business run by Edward and Elizabeth. You may have heard of them more in regards to pens. They pour and turn some really beautiful and unique pens. I absolutely recommend checking them out for those as well. But they started releasing and stocking diamond painting kits recently as well. So love, love, love supporting this small business, and absolutely wanted to get to work on this kit to share with you all so you can see what this third generation of kits looks like. So this was in the first round of releases from their generation 3.0. There have definitely been some changes from the last round of kits. If you happened to see, if not, I'll link to it below, but I did work on and complete and do a post review for you guys of a really adorable wintry scene from Enablers Outpost. And I really enjoyed a lot about working on that kit. It was part of their second generation of kits. And so I love how much they really took to heart the feedback that different people shared with them about that round of kits. And I feel like they literally improved and then some about every single aspect of those kits, and I'm so stoked and so proud of them for doing that. So I will link to that video if you're curious, but please do keep in mind that that was from an older generation of kits, and these newer generation 3 kits are absolutely stellar. They have so much going for them. To give you the rest of the stats, because I did get just a bit sidetracked there. The size on this kit is 50 by 65 centimeters, so it's a really nice size, I think, especially for this artwork. It had round drills and 34 colors, but there was something really special about this kit, and that's that it had a total of 3 different crystal drills that I swear made up like a third of the kit. Easily, maybe like a half of the kit. Like there's so many crystals in this kit. It's amazing. That's one of the reasons it's really hard to get pictures of and to show on camera. All this sparkle you're seeing down here, even these dark drills are technically, I think, a 939 crystal, which they're a little bit more of a matte finish and more of a like flatter finish than some of these other crystals, but it is so sparkly. I'll show you some of these colors up close in just a bit. But it had those 3 crystal drills, and then it had 2 ABs, which were used pretty sparingly, but I liked the extra sparkly effect that they added as well. I started this kit on May 3rd and completed it on May 11th. I was working on another kit at the same time. Typically, I might move a little bit faster on a kit this size and complete it a little more quickly. But between working on another project at the same time and the fact that this kit was extremely confetti heavy, it took me a bit longer to get through. So if you are newer to the craft and aren't sure what I mean when I say confetti, confetti is when you have, say, a small section of the canvas like here. And say within this small section, there are a lot of different color changes. Maybe there's not really an opportunity to use your multi-placer very much, if at all, and you're changing out the color in your tray very often. We call that confetti. By comparison, there are a couple of sections like in her face where it's a lot of the same color in a small section. We would call that more like color blocking. Areas like that will go a bit faster because you can use a multi-placer and that color will be in your tray for longer. You're not switching it out quite as often. So this canvas overall was very confetti heavy, but I think that that added to kind of the overall effect of the artwork, which, like I said, is very much like sort of dreamy and whimsical and lots of kind of blurred edges, not quite like a watercolory effect per se, but it doesn't have lots of sharp, clean lines. And so the way that that translates to a diamond painting can look a few different ways. This was more of a, maybe a little bit more of a computer rendered effect. I'm not sure how Enabler's Outpost does their rendering, so I'm not going to say for sure, but when you see lots and lots of confetti like that, sometimes that means that, yeah, we've got a little bit more computer rendering going on. That really, the neat thing about that is that when you really step back and look at the piece as a whole, it looks incredibly close to the original artwork. Up close, maybe not necessarily, but certainly when you step back and through the camera lens like this, you're gonna see that confetti and those colors really, really come together. Now, a lot of what I talk about as far as what I liked about the kit is gonna be a personal taste thing. Same thing with dislikes. That's honestly the case with a lot of things when it comes to diamond painting, is you kind of have to decide what are the things that you really look for in your diamond painting kits. What are the most important things to you? That can look different for different people, and that's completely okay. So let me tell you some different things that I really enjoyed about this kit. I thought the overall quality was really fantastic. They made some changes with the canvas material and the drill quality and the glue and everything felt like an upgrade from the last generation. The canvas material is like one of my favorite kinds, where it's very sturdy, but it's also really, really malleable. It's holding these diamonds beautifully and it's laying flat perfectly. This, honestly, I had this accidentally, like I had folded this just a little bit where it's been sitting the past few days waiting for me to work on it. I had accidentally set something on top of it and folded it a bit, and it has lain flat on its own perfectly well. So that really speaks to a high quality canvas and a really nice quality glue. The glue was great to work on. I haven't had any issues with diamonds falling off. The drill field quality, so the symbols themselves were clearly printed. They were not difficult to read. There weren't really any symbols that I was finding myself mixing up, which is really nice. This piece is very dark, and so there were a lot of dark symbols or dark backgrounds with light symbols on them that made it a little hard just for my brain to like quickly place diamonds. I felt like I was doing a little bit of hunting for symbols sometimes, but that's not even remotely like a problem or the fault of Enabler's Outpost. It's purely an observation just to let you know that like this kit might potentially take you a little bit longer than kits with like lots of color blocking or a lot of lighter colors might. That also may just be how my brain works, so take that with a grain of salt. I adore how her face turned out. That's easily one of my favorite parts, as well as this sword over here. But you guys, skin tones are so incredibly tricky to get the colors right for, to chart well, and this to me is perfection. I adore it so much. I love that we have just a couple of these actual like yellow drills doing this little highlight on her cheek. I think it's beautiful. Her eyeshadow is insane. It's so good. It's so pretty. I'm like, it has this metallic effect. There are no metallic drills in there, but to me, it completely looks like it could, like you could look at that and go, is that like a metallic gold drill? It's all regular drills. I don't even think we have any ABs in that particular spot. There's some crystals. There's like a deep red crystal kind of here, but it's subtle enough that it kind of just blends into the overall effect here. It doesn't stand out in a bad way to me. But you guys, I love how delicate her features are, her lips and her nose, the color blending in her skin. I love it so much. I am obsessed. Like, this is my favorite part of the painting. Like, here, the sword, I think that the effect again is just lovely. There are a few of the yellow AB that's included in this kit. There are some of the yellow AB in the sword where you see it glinting. There's like this pale yellow regular diamond here in the middle, and then a darker yellow AB kind of around the pale yellow, and a couple of the yellow AB kind of up here. But like, even just like, do you guys like a cross guard? Like, this whole effect is so pretty. And even like here, the sword, I think the whole thing just looks so amazing. That's easily my favorite part, is like this section here. The rendering, I think, is perfection. I really loved that there were so many special drills in this kit. I'm going to try to show you guys, like, getting up close. So like, we're going to look up here, which is in her hair. As we get up close, you will see that it is almost purely crystal. The obvious crystals are that like cranberry red crystal that is sprinkled liberally throughout her hair and makes her hair have a sheen of red, especially in the right light. Now, I believe that this black color that you're seeing interspersed like throughout, while it doesn't glint and look glassy and crystal-like the same way the cranberry diamonds do, this is still considered a crystal drill. It's a 939 crystal, which is a really deep blue, and it does sparkle a little bit more than regular diamonds do. Oops, little something got stuck in there. It does sparkle a little bit more than the regular diamonds do, but it's not quite as glassy in effect as the cranberry red drills. I'm actually really okay with that, because I'm afraid it would almost be overwhelming in the amount of sparkle if that were every bit as crystally sparkly as those deep red drills are. We also have this purple. It's a 550 crystal. Ooh, look at that pretty color shift there. Here, as you can see. And that's doing a little bit more of like some accenting on the edges. There's not quite as much of that particular color in this painting. It's in some areas, like it's here, kind of, I think this is on her shoulder. You can see that purple crystal a lot around the edges, honestly. And again, all of this in here, I believe, is that 939 crystal. And then there's you see some of that purple crystal kind of more in the middle, where we have some more of those crystal purple colors. So honestly, and her gloves. We've got a ton of the cranberry and the 550 purple crystal in her gloves. These are her hands. It's so much. There are so many crystals in this kit. Now, I do think that while there are areas that this really lent itself beautifully, like I love that it gives her hair a bit of a more red sheen to it. I think that having so many crystals in her hands, I think muddies the rendering maybe just a little bit too much, because in this original artwork, I don't know how well this is my logbook. There's the original artwork. It is very dark, but I feel like the shapes of her hands are still a little bit more distinct. I'm not really getting that to show up terribly well. But I feel like in the rendering, in the charting, that it has so many crystals. I just don't know that like the shapes of her hands come through, and kind of this pop of this highlighting color, that lighter gray that's in here. It's hard to even tell to see it like through the crystals. Down here is a better example. You can see there's these lighter drills down here, but then there's a ton of crystals it almost, like the contrast, I don't know. It's a little, I'm uncertain on it. But I think that that's, again, going to be a personal preference thing. And it does still, I mean, it still looks like her hand. So let me be clear, I'm nitpicking right now because this kit is so good. It's got so much that it's doing amazingly well. I'm literally finding like the tiniest things. I'm like, but here's just this tiny thing that can maybe be adjusted to make it even more perfect. So please know that, like, these are not major things in my mind. This is just me being like, just little tweak here, little tweak there. You are more than welcome to disagree with me, as in everything. But let me get back to some of the other things that I really loved about this kit. So I was really a huge fan of the original artwork. I shared in a couple of my whip and chats where I was working on this piece that I was really drawn to this artwork because it just immediately reminded me of a particular character from a young adult fantasy series that I really, really enjoyed as a child, and frankly, even still now, I love rereading it. The Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce. The main character of that novel is, her name is Alana, and she goes into hiding so that she disguises her identity so that she can become a lady knight in the kingdom, where, like, previously, like, girls are not allowed to become knights or knights in training. And there was just something about this image, especially with the crystals giving this red effect to her hair, that I was like, this just really incredibly looks like this particular character to me. It was fun to share about that in that whip and chat because I got to hear from a lot of other people that were like, oh my gosh, I totally read those books. I know exactly what you're talking about. And oh my gosh, yes, this totally has Alana vibes. So this was one of those kits that as soon as I saw the image, I was in love. I was obsessed. I was like, I'm getting that kit immediately, and either I'm going to work on it as soon as I have it in hand, or it's going to go into my rainy day stash because it's going to have that much of a special meaning to me. I have what I call my rainy day stash, which is just where, I have kits that I kind of save and savor and hoard, I suppose, until I'm ready to work on something really special. And it's, kits that just have a special meaning to me for whatever reason. So this was going to go into there, but then I was really ready to work on her right away, especially because I really wanted to try out Enablers Outpost's Generation 3 kits. I love supporting this small business. I mentioned that earlier. I was really excited to get to support Edward and Elizabeth over at Enablers Outpost and to work on another one of their diamond paintings from a more recent generation. And I love their responsive customer service. Whenever I've contacted them with like questions or anything like that, like when I did follow up with them with a question or two that I had some feedback I had about this kit, they were very quick to respond, and I felt very much listened to and like they were taking that kind of feedback seriously. That was the case with the last kit I worked on from them as well. Speaking of feedback and maybe some areas for improvement, they are already aware of this, but there was one color in particular that I almost ran out of. It is the first time I have ever come close to running out of a color on any diamond painting kit. And it was of this cranberry crystal color, this crystal 154. I literally had 5 of these diamonds left, 5 of these crystal drills left at the end. This was also tricky because this color was more trash prone, and I was finding myself having to place those trashy diamonds anyway. Like some of them had like a little bit of extra around the base or something like that. I was needing to place them anyway because I was like, I'm gonna run out of this color. I'm absolutely gonna run out of this color. It was that last section I felt like it's the final countdown. Like, am I gonna have enough? Am I gonna have enough? Had exactly 5 diamonds, or 5 of those crystal diamonds left. So I let them know, and they said that they were aware and that they had let their manufacturer know for future runs of this kit. So yes, there were. But all of the other colors, including the other 2 crystals here, that 550 and the 939, I had tons left over of those. I had plenty of these ABs left over, and plenty of all of the other colors. If you see those little squares in there, by the way, like you saw maybe in this case, that's just a square of dryer sheet. I did run into some static, but whether or not your diamonds are going to have static in them is highly climate dependent. I don't really think companies have any control over that directly. So I just cut up a little square of dryer sheet and tuck it in there, and that does the trick. So while all of the other colors, except for that red crystal, I had plenty left over, and I thought that they were fantastic quality. That cranberry crystal drill just was a little bit more trash prone, and I did almost run out. So that was kind of feedback for them, which like I said, I've already shared. Some of the rendering, like I kind of shared earlier, I was afraid that it didn't translate totally well. I wonder if that's the kind of thing that it's like maybe they could take the computer rendering from their, rendering artist or whatever and go back and just do a little bit of hand tweaking maybe if there are areas, especially in original artwork like this that does have a lot of darker colors to it. I just wonder if maybe like cleaning up a couple of edges and clarifying some of these colors in here might have helped just a little bit. Maybe like there's supposed to be these like kind of gold draping lines here, maybe kind of making that line more continuous or something like that. Again, I think you get the impression of that like when you're looking at it through the camera lens, but I wonder, I'm nitpicking here. I'm like, just these couple little tweaks and would elevate this painting even more than it already is. So a couple little, like I said, maybe a couple little hand tweaks to the rendering here and there, but overall, I really think that the rendering is beautiful, especially like, please don't change anything about how you render her face because this is so perfect. And then this is just a personal thing. I find it to be a little bit more of a mental load to work on a kit that has tons and tons of confetti like this one did. But this is going to be highly dependent on your personal preferences, like what you enjoy working on, what feels like it takes more mental effort to work on. In a kit like this that has lots of confetti, my solution was just to have another kit going at the same time that had more color blocking. And so I could go back and forth between the two of them. When I felt like, okay, I need a little bit of break from confetti, I can go over to this color blocking. And when I am getting sick and tired of multi-placing and color blocking everything, I can come back to this kit with all of its beautiful confetti and details and rendering. So like I said, that's really dependent personally. So that is really what I have to share as far as my thoughts go on this beautiful canvas. Again, this was My Sword from Enabler's Outpost and the artist Indicreates. My overall thoughts and I suppose kind of like my verdict on it is that I think it's fantastic if you are able to snag one for yourself if they do another run of these kits. I definitely recommend this particular kit. I think you'll really enjoy the whole experience of working on it. I think that if you're really liking what you're seeing as far as the finished product goes here in camera, I think that you'll love it just as much in person as well. Especially, it's impossible to capture the effect of the crystals truly, and even in video, let alone in photos. So it's absolutely breathtaking in person, truly. I certainly suggest that if they have any new releases that you like the look of, these Generation 3 kits are amazing. And so take a look. They just did a couple of new releases this week. I have both coming to me because I love both of them so much. One is another from this particular artist. They're going to be doing some small batch releases throughout the week. So if you like the look of either of those kits, please follow them on Instagram as well as their Etsy shop, favorite their Etsy shop, and join the Facebook group if you have Facebook. Those are all really helpful places to get information about new releases and when restocks are happening, and to get in touch with them if you have any questions. So I have nothing but wonderful things to say about Enabler's Outpost's diamond painting kits as well as their pens, especially if you like a bit thicker pen. All I can say is go and take a look in their shop. If you see artwork that you love, go for it. It is completely worth it. It is a lovely experience to work on, and I absolutely will be buying from them again. I mean, I just did this past week, but like in the future, I'm quite sure that if it's artwork that I love, I'm gonna be all over it. So anyway, my friends, thank you so much for watching this reveal and post review. I really hope that it was helpful to give you a sense for what to expect from this kit and from Enabler's Outpost and their kits in general. Please let me know if you have any questions whatsoever. I would be more than happy to help. Thank you to Elizabeth and Edward for creating such beautiful products and for your commitment to creating and improving your diamond painting kits as well. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed doing this video with you and hope that it was helpful and fun for you as well. If it was, would you mind giving this video a thumbs up before you head out? And of course, if you're not already subscribed, I would love to have you. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see lots more diamond painting content like this in the future. All right, friends, hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, and I'll chat with you in the next one. Bye.